Welcome back to Rants. And when I was a kid, Michael Bay's movies were dumb but fun. Now, they're just dumb. And I can already hear your keyboards. You're typing your nasty hate comments now just based on the title, aren't you? Well, I fooled ya! I actually love Christopher Nolan's Batman movies. I love how the tone and atmosphere of all three movies are completely different from anything else Batman related. I love how Christian Bale has got to be the worst Batman since George Clooney. I love how Christopher Nolan reuses villains we've seen in previous movies. I love all the pointless explosions that make the 12-year-olds in the audience smile till it hurts. And there are several other things I love about the movies. If you haven't figured it out by now, I fooled you again. I despise these movies. That's right, they make my blood boil. As a huge fan of Batman, these movies make me sick. They feel nothing like Batman movies. They feel more like Michael Bay movies if he actually finished the script before shooting the movie. It's bad enough that these movies exist, but it's worse when everywhere I go, I hear, Christopher Nolan's Batman movies are the best movies ever! Whoever tried to make any other Batman movie before Christopher Nolan deserves to be shot. If Christopher Nolan was a woman, I would make love to her. On second thought, he doesn't have to be a woman. I'm sick of this! I know, people have a right to their opinions, and I respect that. However, I have a different opinion on these movies that I think deserves to be heard. You don't have to agree with me, you just have to listen. So, get ready for a video with no rules. Here's my rant on Christopher Nolan's Batman movies. For starters, I like to point out that comics aren't the easiest thing to adapt into films. Comic book characters have existed for almost 100 years, and they've been through several things, especially Batman. From fighting aliens, to hating rock and roll, to becoming a pedophile towards Robin, Bats has been through a lot. So, when it comes to adapting comic book superheroes for movies, there have been several comic book writers over the years that have given their own spins on the characters. Some good, some bad, some so ugly that you would want to put a gun to the head of the writer. This means that directors have several different interpretations of the character to choose from, so the character is never going to be 100% the same. It also doesn't help that film and comic books are two completely different types of media, so when superheroes are adapted to film, they're not going to be able to get it perfectly right. So, I'll be judging Christopher Nolan's Batman movies based on what other people have done when it came to Batman movies and TV shows. I'll also be judging them as movies, not just as comic book movies, seeing as how I myself have never even touched a comic book before. Alright, let's get started. I'll get my shield ready. Alright, so from what I could gather after watching all three of these movies and trying hard not to fall asleep, Christopher Nolan was trying to put a more realistic spin on Batman. That's my first problem with these movies. Although Batman is arguably the most realistic comic book hero, that doesn't mean everything about him has to be 100% realistic, and that's what makes it appealing. So, Nolan trying to make Batman more realistic just sends shivers down my spine. Rightfully so. As this video continues, you'll see why. My second problem is the reusing of villains. One thing that's really annoying me about all these superhero movie reboots is that filmmakers are putting little effort into bringing several possible villains into the film world. I'm already ticked off that there's a possibility that my favorite Spider-Man villain, Carnage, isn't going to be in any of the new Spider-Man movies. Come on! What's a guy got to do to see Carnage murderize some people on the big screen? Anyway, although it was nice for Chris Nolan to put Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow on film, I got really annoyed when he used villains that were used before in previous Batman movies. Okay, I can understand Two-Face and Bane, as those characters were made fools of by Joel Schumacher, but Joker and Catwoman? Come on, Nolan. Just because a Joker is Batman's main adversary doesn't mean he has to be in everything Batman related. And you call that character Catwoman? That's not Catwoman. That's just Anne Hathaway wearing those stupid looking cat ears on her head. You would have been better off calling her stupid cat ear wearing woman. Also, you can't top Michelle Pfeiffer. You just can't. Michelle Pfeiffer isn't playing Catwoman. She is Catwoman. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, I really want to see some Batman villains in movies that we haven't seen before, like Killer Croc, Clayface, the Mad Hatter, the Ventriloquist, Harley Quinn, Man-Bat, Killer Moth, Black Mask, I can go all day. Well, Heath Ledger's Joker ended up being a huge success, so I guess nobody's complaining but me. I'll get to you later, Joker. The next problem would be Christian trucking Bale! Right off the bat, I could tell I wasn't going to enjoy these movies. Why? Christian Bale is the main character. You're kidding me, right? Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Christian Bale's acting. I don't know why. I just don't believe any role he's in. I think the only reason he's in movies is to give girls who don't find Brad Pitt attractive someone to stare at. It also doesn't help that the only Christian Bale movie I actually like is Howl's Moving Castle. So, yeah, I really think Christian Bale is a poor choice for Batman. Why? For starters, can you honestly consider Christian Bale as Batman? I can't. To me, he doesn't feel like he's impersonating Batman. He feels like he's impersonating another guy impersonating Batman. And do I even have to mention the voice? Of course I don't. Also, there's the mouth-breathing face. Seriously, would you ever expect the Caped Crusader to make this face? Toy? What the heck? Is there a nude woman off screen? Close your trucking mouth! Anyway, it's bad enough Christian Bale's performance sucks, but it's even worse when his character sucks. Which leads into my next problem. Batman sucks in these movies! I never thought I would have to say those 5 words after George Clooney being George Clooney and Batman Robin, but oh me oh my, how I was wrong. To me, Batman is a symbol of how to be a hero. He believes in justice, but he also believes bad guys deserve a second chance. He is ruthless and wants things his way, but he's always willing to hear from the other point of view. He's strong and agile, but he's also intelligent and not easy to outsmart. Yep, Batman is my favorite comic book superhero. But thank goodness Nolan's movies aren't the only adaptations of Batman's character, otherwise I'll lose faith in him. Chris Nolan's version of Batman is a spit in the face to Bob Kane's skull. For starters, he's a moron. Remember at the end of The Dark Knight when he put the blame for the death of the cops and Harvey Dent on himself because he felt Harvey is the hero that Gotham needs? Hey, Betsy, you might think this is a wild thought, but hear me out. You know, you could have said that the Joker killed the cops and Harvey. That way, you wouldn't be a target of the Gotham police, you yutz head! Also, shouldn't you be Gotham's hero? Just asking. Another thing, this Batman is a wussy. In The Dark Knight Rises, Batman stays out of Gotham for 7 years because he can't get over Rachel's death from the previous movie. Wait, hold on. Let me get this straight. Seeing your parents murdered right in front of you inspires you to become Batman, but your sort of girlfriend dying causes you to quit? There goes our hero, wussing out on us. So, yeah, if this is the Batman that's supposed to be protecting Gotham, I'm surprised villains didn't take it over sooner. Okay, I might as well get the next one out of the way. My next problem with these movies, specifically The Dark Knight, is the Joker. And my house is on fire. Okay, just hear me out on this one. The Joker is not only my favorite Batman villain, he's not even my favorite comic book villain. He's my favorite villain of all time. He's sadistic, murderous, and psychotic, and his main goal is to cause chaos and have fun doing it. If that's not a great villain, I don't know what is. However, my favorite aspect of the Joker is of how funny he is. He allows us to laugh at things in fictional form that we can't laugh at in real life, because then we'd be seen as Looney T. Bins. He's a character that has fun, and I have fun watching him. However, I don't get that vibe from The Dark Knight. I just feel like Heath Ledger's Joker is lacking. He's sadistic and murderous, but he doesn't have the sense of humor. He's just another wacko who wants to take over Gotham, and he doesn't even look like he's having fun most of the time. In fact, I think he sounds depressed. However, when he does laugh, the laughs come out of nowhere, as if he had a random mood swing. People are gonna die. Starting tonight. I'm a man of my word. Gosh, it's like Dr. Mastinko from Freakazoid. You'll be joining them soon enough. Sorry, I just thought of something funny. Then there is the frickin' tongue smacking. You know, every other sentence, Heath Ledger's character smacks his tongue against his cheeks and it gets frickin' annoying. I'm sorry, but I can't take a villain seriously if he's making the same noises I made with my mouth as a kid. Oh, and I know it's because his cheeks are cut, but you know what? I don't care. That doesn't automatically make the noises tolerable. You might think I'm nitpicking, but I'm sorry. The cheek smacking gets really distracting to me. Now, of course, I can hear people saying, "Shut up! Heath Ledger's Joker was scary! You can't hate that!" You know what? I'm more afraid of Jack Nicholson's Joker. Yeah, I said it. Think about it, folks. What's scarier? Somebody who kills and enjoys every second of it, or somebody who kills and acts like it's nothing? Yeah, I think the first scenario. Yeah, I'm afraid of the first scenario more. I think somebody who actually has fun killing people and causing pain is scarier than somebody who acts like killing is just as casual as doing laundry. So, yeah, although I have a stab wound in my back, I don't think Heath Ledger's Joker is my idea of the Joker. I want him to be, well, a Joker. Here's a branch off of my last point, and that's the villains. When it comes to Batman, my favorite element of his universe is his villains. He has the best rogues gallery of any comic book hero, as he has a wide variety of villains that aren't usually villains. Most of them are poor souls who are doing what they think is right, but it's shameful that what they want to do to stand up for themselves interferes with the law. They have complexity to them that makes them more interesting and sympathetic than Batman himself. However, in Nolan's movies, well, I'm going to kill Batman because he left my group, and I'm going to cure the world by making it worse somehow. I'm Liam Neeson. Hi, I'm Cillian Murphy, and I have to be in every Christopher Nolan movie, so he put a potato sack on my head, and I guess I'm the Scarecrow. So, I make people experience their fears, and I work with Liam Neeson to smuggle drugs into Gotham. You know, I once had a dog. It got ran over. Story of my life. You like pencils? My pants, I gotta kill, so I'm gonna kill everybody! Technically, I helped save the day, so I'm not a villain. I'm a jewel thief, though. See what I mean? I mean, sure, we don't know much about Heath Ledger's character, and Catwoman never really was Batman's more interesting villains. And Bane wanted to take over Gotham because he feels Gotham's idea of justice is wrong or something. Honestly, his plan might as well have been taking over Gotham with an army of cats wearing jetpacks. He sounded like he had an entire Jif factory, but that's besides the point. Anyway, these villains have nothing on these guys. I used a detective to help me achieve my goal of making the world the way I want it to be. For I am immortal, and I'll do whatever it takes to have complete power. Also, I'm voiced by David Warner. You don't get more awesome than that. I am Selena Kyle. I'm a jewel thief, but I have some humanity in me. I'm also an animal rights activist, but looking to make sure that animals are not mistreated. Batman and I have a saucy relationship, even if we do get in each other's way sometimes. Everything was taken from me. My face, my fiancé. I've got nothing left, except chance. Everything is decided by chance. I'm the evil side who hides within all of your minds. I am your own personal villain. I am you. And that's just a few examples. Batman has so many complex villains, I would have to write a book to describe all of them. So, when it comes to the villains Chris Nolan was using, I feel they were really lacking in depth. We knew what they wanted to do, but we didn't know why they wanted to do it. However, when we did, their purpose was pretty one-dimensional. My next problem with Christopher Nolan's movies is they like to talk to us like we're freaking idiots. And considering the fact that people say Nolan's movies are more adult than Burton's, that's saying something. In Tim Burton's Batman movies, they allow for quiet moments. Moments where the facial expressions of the characters say more than words can. The symbolism and themes aren't brought up by the characters, allowing for us viewers to dissect and discuss them for ourselves, offering our own interpretations on what the plot means. However, when the characters do speak, they say what they have to say, and then they stop and it cuts to the next scene. One big example I can think of is the scene in Batman when Vicky Vale asks Joker what he wants. Joker takes a second to think, and then he says, "My face on the $1 bill." Those 7 words alone tell us everything we need to know about the Joker. They say a little, but mean a lot. Nolan's movies, on the other hand, well, how should I put this in the most subtle way possible? Oh, I know. They never shut up! Seriously, they talk constantly, rarely allowing for the visuals to speak to us. The characters practically discuss the themes and symbolism for us, taking the job away from the viewers. What's the fun in talking about a movie that talks about itself? Of course, with the battleship loads of dialogue, it makes the movies a chore to sit. I could substitute these movies for sleeping pills. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ben, you're a moron who has a low attention span and can't pay attention to long movies. Bull truck. I can watch the entire running times of Lords of Arabia, Gone with the Wind, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, and Gandhi without even blinking. Nolan's Batman movies, however, I'm just waiting for the end credits. Nolan really needs to learn that if he wants to make adult-oriented movies, he has to learn to show and not talk to us like we're morons. My final problem with Christopher Nolan's Batman movies is a problem I have with a lot of superhero movies today. You see, comic book movies back then actually felt like comic book movies. They created the world of comics for the big screen, giving us a sense that we're watching a comic in movie form. Movies like Batman, The Crow, and even The Mask all have atmosphere to them that transports us into a world away from our own and makes us feel like we're watching a movie, not a documentary. Superhero movies now take away the atmosphere to the point where I feel like I'm watching an extended episode of NCIS with the main characters dressing up as superheroes. For the Batman universe, it's supposed to be dark, gloomy, and have a tone that matches the mysterious void that is the night sky. Batman represents the figure in the shadows that lurks and strikes his prey at the right time. Tim Burton's Batman movies perfectly set up that atmosphere. Seeing as how Tim Burton's style is visual and dark, it intertwines perfectly with Batman. His Gotham City looks like Gotham City, a city that's always cloudy and dark. Seeing as how Gotham City was a set that was built from the ground up, a lot of detail was put into it to not make it look like a normal city, creating the sense that we're away from the world we live in while watching it. Burton also allowed for art direction to put a little bit of color into his Batman movies, just like the paint jobs in comic books. Chris Nolan's movies? Yeah. Since when is Gotham City a nickname for Chicago? Yeah, most of the shooting for all three movies was done mostly in Chicago, and it shows. All the dark and gloomy atmosphere that Gotham is known for isn't felt in Nolan's movies. This is actually the thing that bothers me the most about Christopher Nolan's Batman movies, is that thanks to the bright atmosphere of Chicago, they don't feel like Batman movies. To me, if a movie has a good atmosphere, I can forgive some problems I might have with the story or characters. However, since I don't have any interesting corrected sets to look at in Nolan's movies, I'm ultimately disappointed. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's the background that bothers you most? What are you, stupid? Folks, I appreciate every single aspect that goes into filmmaking. A lot of things that common film goers don't even think about are things I mostly enjoy. I can admire the sets in Tim Burton's Batman movies because human hands went into making Gotham City appear on screen. In the case of these Batman movies, they just said, building sets? Screw that! Let's just film already existing cities. Who's going to notice the difference? I did, Nolan. I did. So, there are my thoughts on why I despise Christopher Nolan's Batman movies. To me, they don't feel like Batman movies. They just feel like Christopher Nolan trying to make Batman his own creation, but he's failing miserably at it. He's focusing more on making Batman as realistic as possible, and he focused less on adding in the elements that make Batman so appealing in the first place. To me, the point of making movies is to put things on film that you can't see in real life, not trying to be as realistic as possible. It's a little thing called imagination, Nolan. Get some. Anyway, I'm Big T Looney, I'm signing out. I have a son nurse to plan a vacation to the Windy City.